This is truly one of my favorite plants in my whole collection right now, and I feel like we're on such a good path right now, and I just hope and I pray to God that that positive upwards trajectory will continue, because this plant is just beautiful. It's so beautiful. Hello everyone and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Matt. Today we're doing something special and we're starting a brand new little series that I call Plant Spotlight, where I will be featuring one of the plants from my collection and we will talk all about it. I will take you through my journey of owning a certain plant. I will let you know how and when I acquired it, how it's doing in my care, the ease of care, how I care for it in general, and I think it'll be a fun time. Now, just a quick little disclaimer, this was definitely inspired by Sydney Plant Guy. He has a similar series that is also called Plant Spotlight, where he basically does the same thing. So yeah, thank you Sydney Plant Guy for inspiring me to do the same. Today, we're gonna be talking about a very, very special plant, a plant that is currently the apple of my eye. She's growing beautifully and I'm just so excited that I finally cracked the code on her. And that plant, dear ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between, is my Alocasia Frydek, and I love her. I like, she is massive. She is so huge, and I know that this is like not even half as big as these plants can get, because these can get really, really massive. For me, this is impressive because I don't have like the greatest conditions in the world. I don't have a lot of light. I don't have the best humidity. So for me, this kind of growth is insanity, especially on an alocasia, which we all know that alocasias are finicky little divas. So honestly, this is impressive as hell to me, okay? I am so impressed with myself. I'm so impressed with this plant, and I'm just ecstatic that we finally are seeing these beautiful, gorgeous, stunning leaves like this plant. I cannot explain to y'all how much I love this plant, and she is so beautiful, so beautiful. Let me go ahead and kind of tell you my journey with this plant. I acquired this plant in fall 2023. So that was kind of around the time when the prices on these guys was actually dropping quite drastically, because these used to be hella expensive, but the price has definitely dropped since, and I think I acquired this one at a reasonable price. I believe it was like around 40 or 50 bucks or something like that. It was a pretty big specimen, I would say. It had like leaves the size of this one, maybe a little bit bigger. Definitely didn't have these like giant leaves. It was like a teenage specimen, I would say. Like it wasn't a baby, but it wasn't an adult. I acquired that plant around fall 2023. I ordered it from Foliage Factory, and unfortunately, soon after receiving it, the plant kind of tanked. It just did what alocasias like to do, which is die. They just like to die. You just look at them the wrong way and they're like dead. Basically, she croaked, but luckily I was able to save her. And she grew into a pretty lush specimen, almost the size of this, just not quite. She was looking gorgeous over the summer of 2024, but then unfortunately fall and colder days and less sun hit, and she tanked once again. That time she like completely tanked. She lost all of her leaves and she was looking not good. That was around the time that I started playing around with semi-hydro, which is something that I'm still quite new at. I have been using semi-hydro now for maybe 4 or 5 months, not that long in hindsight. And I was like, okay, clearly this plant is not happy in soil. Clearly I'm not providing it like good enough care to keep it in soil. It's definitely a plant that can survive in soil, but I think it definitely needs a little bit more care if you're keeping it in soil. I made the executive decision to move it into semi-hydro. It is growing right now in semi-hydro. It's been a couple of months and there is a lot of condensation. Also, this pot is so heavy. It is so heavy and my small, weak little arms can't handle it. She has some really, really beautiful roots. She took to the semi-hydro like a champ. She didn't miss a freaking beat. I was expecting for her to throw a big fit, because oftentimes when you transfer soil plants into semi-hydro, and I did no preparation in between. I didn't reroot it or anything. I basically just took it out of the soil, washed its roots, and put it into semi-hydro. That's it. It was brutal, okay? It was ruthless, and honestly, I don't regret it because clearly she is happy, and that makes me very, very happy as well. She took to the semi-hydro transition very, very well, and obviously she is well rooted, and I will say up front, I think semi-hydro is the answer for this plant. If you are struggling with this plant, just put it into semi-hydro. I was one of those people that was very against semi-hydro. I was like, I'm never gonna grow in semi-hydro. I just want to use soil. Like, I'm a soil girly through and through. But honestly, I ate my own freaking words because semi-hydro works fabulous, and now I love it, and I pretty much want to move my whole collection into semi-hydro after seeing how well some of my semi-hydro plants are doing. And I mean, this one is just, I cannot even describe to y'all the beauty of this plant. Now, she is not like the most variegated specimen, but honestly, I don't mind that. She just poked me in the eye. Okay, girl, I thought we were friends. I actually kind of like this kind of variegation where it's not too white, because when it is too white, then obviously the leaves tend to brown. And I do have actually 3 or 4 plants in here. There are 4 plants in here, as you can maybe see, and some of these offshoots are actually a lot more variegated. God, it's so hard to maneuver this plant. But yeah, some of these offshoots are actually quite variegated. Obviously, they look beautiful, but they do have the tendency to brown because obviously the white parts of the plant just don't contain any chlorophyll, which is very, very important for the growth and health of the leaf and the plant itself. Now, when it comes to general conditions, this lives in ambient room conditions. I don't have a single plant in a cabinet. I don't own a cabinet. I don't think I want to own a cabinet, like maybe one day, but as of right now, I just like having all of my plants out on display because yeah, I just think it looks nicer. And if something is like behind the door, it makes it really hard for me to take care of it, okay? And the chances of me neglecting something that is behind the door are very, very high. So she lives in general population out here in my studio that doesn't get a ton of light. I have one east-south facing like big window, and then I just have that small west-facing window over there. And basically all of my plants rely on grow lights, and this one is no exception. She lives under a 32 Mother's Life Spectrum grow light. She lives under that Mother grow light and kind of off to the side, and that Mother grow light isn't the brightest. I really do like the Mother grow lights. How many times can I say Mother grow lights? I really do like those grow lights, but they aren't the strongest, especially for the price. However, I mean, clearly she likes it, and I am certain that if I gave this girly even more light or like brighter light, I'm pretty sure she would size up even more and get even bigger. But honestly, sometimes bigger is not better, because this is quite large as is, and I honestly don't even know where I would put her if she was any larger. I wouldn't be able to find a space for her. I am really, really happy with the size that she is at. Honestly, all I care about is that she keeps on to these like nice, beautiful leaves. That's all I care about. Even if she stays this size, as long as she looks like nice and bushy and presentable, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10 from me. As for humidity, I really don't find that these need a lot of humidity. It just lives in room humidity, which varies usually between 40 and 50. Sometimes it gets to around 55. Varies on whether I have the heating on or not. Obviously, during the winter, the humidity is a lot lower because I am heating this place constantly. And then in the spring and summertime, the humidity usually is a tad bit higher. So that's kind of when she starts doing very, very well. As for pests, we all know alocasias, they are just prone to spider mites. This one is no exception. Now, I only had one spider mite outbreak, I believe, on this plant, and it was pretty easy to deal with. Her leaves aren't too like compacted, they aren't very ruffly, so I do find that pests don't really have a lot of places to hide when it comes to this plant. What you can watch out for is this connecting bit where the petiole meets the leaf. This area is where I find that most pests actually like to linger and have a party at. So that's kind of the area that I always look at. If you have a big spider mite infestation, you can definitely see some like webbing between the lobing. I tried to give her regular showers. I had once a kind of like a bigger outbreak. It wasn't terrible, but I basically just treated it with the alcohol peroxide, tea tree soap, and peppermint soap solution, and that seemed to do the trick, honestly. When you're dealing with spider mites though, do make sure to also wash like your cover pots and also the outside and kind of the rim and everything around the nursery pot, because spider mites can actually live on the surfaces. Also, you do want to wash or like wipe down any surfaces that your plants are touching, because spider mites, once again, can survive on like surfaces of other objects. Now, speed of growth is something that I love about this plant. She is crazy fast. Literally, she pushed out this leaf like maybe a month ago, and now she pushed out this leaf, and I'm pretty sure that she's gonna give me soon another one, because I can kind of feel this little petiole area already swelling up and becoming a little bit preggo. So she is a very, very fast grower. I will say alocasias are very root dependent plants, and they really do need like a good established, robust root system in order to grow. Once their root system establishes, I find alocasias grow like this. They are so quick once they establish. So I would just say, if you have like a new plant, try to give it some time, let it establish itself, try to care for it, give it good conditions, and once she establishes and once you see kind of a lot of roots along the edge of the pot, that's when she's gonna pop off, that's when she's gonna start growing like crazy. Now, when it comes to repotting, I would definitely wait for this plant to get like pretty root bound. Alocasias do actually prefer to be root bound in my experience, so I would definitely wait for this thing to be pretty root bound before repotting it. This plant also likes to throw out quite a lot of corms. It doesn't throw out as many corms as, for example, a Maharani or a Black Velvet. I feel like those really throw out corms all the time. I actually do have a couple of corms from this particular plant that I did manage to sprout and am now growing another cute little Frydek. I'm usually not the type of person to have duplicates of my plants. Like, I like to have one main plant and that's it. But honestly, if you're looking this gorgeous, if you're looking this freaking beautiful, then I want two of you. So I am growing out another one. I don't know where the hell I'm gonna put it if it turns out to be the size of this one, but I love this plant, y'all. I love this plant so much. I love you so much. You mean so much to me. And honestly, I think we should all just appreciate our plants a lot more and tell them how much they mean to us, because I know it's silly and it's just a plant, but honestly, just looking at her, holding her makes my day. It makes life so much easier, so much more enjoyable. I just appreciate what plants do for me. This is just one of those plants that brings me so much joy, and I love her very, very dearly. Oh, I'm gonna put her down because she's heavy and I have been holding her for like, what, 15 minutes? Crazy. Let me know in the comment section below if you have this plant and what has your experience been growing it. If not, let me know if this is a plant that you would like to have in your collection, because I truly cannot recommend this plant enough. If you figure out its care requirements, I think it's just one of the most stunning, beautiful plants ever. Also, if you have any tips and tricks that I maybe didn't mention in this video, drop them down in the comment section below, because maybe they will help me, maybe they will help somebody else. And plus, I just love talking to you guys. If you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to see more of these kinds of videos, I would definitely be interested in making them. I think it's fun to just give credit to a certain plant that is bringing you a lot of joy. So I would definitely be keen on doing more of this kind of video. But until next time, I hope you have a super fabulous, amazing day, and goodbye. Oh God, I love her, but why does she have to be so heavy? Whew.